Thanks so much for joining us for another edition of our Open Mic program. And we do have Kenton Adler with us right now. He's with the Scottish Festival coming up this weekend. And I tell you, I love the Scottish Festival. I mean, it's Scottish to the max. And that's what you feel. Scotland coming to Batesville, Arkansas, to Lyon College.
Correct. And festival to the max. You don't have to be Scottish to come. It's for everybody, but it does go back to the Scottish roots of the college with our Presbyterian heritage. We were founded in 1872 by the Presbyterian Church, and the Presbyterian Church is Church of Scotland. So it started to grow out of that connection back in the early 1980s, especially.
Well, a lot's going to go on. Let's go down the menu of things for people to see and be a part of.
Sure. Friday night, we have the President's Reception, which will be held at Highland House, which is just a little bit off campus, a couple of blocks off campus over on Barrett Street. And generally speaking, some of the clan representatives come to that, and that's Scottish clans. It's some of the clan folks from the tents that'll be up on Saturday will attend that, and some of the VIPs and some folks from the community will come sometimes. And we have a little bit of light entertainment and hors d'oeuvres, and some of us go around and interact with the people that are there visiting. We're ambassadors for the college, those of us that are in the pipe band and that work with Scottish heritage. I'd also like to point out, though, that this is a recombining with our homecoming. That's why we're not doing it in the spring anymore. Arkansas Scottish Festival used to be held in April, and we decided to go back to the roots of the festival, which were actually part of the homecoming and family weekend back in the early 80s. And so we're moving it back to that. Then on Saturday morning, and there will be an alumni awards dinner that night as well that's not connected to the festival, but simultaneously occurring. So on Saturday morning, then there's a president's breakfast that people can attend, and I think there's a slight charge for that if you want to eat breakfast there on the grounds. But throughout the course of the day, we will have, just like we always did with Scottish Festival, there will be clan booths set up where people will be talking about genealogy and Scottish history and things like that. Vendors that will be selling various jewelry and walking sticks, and I'm trying to think of all the kinds of statuary and T-shirts for Celtic designs on the front and things like that all throughout the day. We'll also have Highland dancers going out on Couch Garden, which is the center part of the main campus all day. We have an entertainment tent set up that will feature food and libation, and we have a Celtic rock band coming up from Florida that's called North of Argyle. It'll be the first time that we've had them. Pipe bands will be performing off and on throughout the day. We'll also have heavy athletics, the Scottish athletics that everybody loves, all throughout the course of the day. Let me go back down in the afternoon. The homecoming events will be going down on the main area in front of the lower library, between the library and the gym. So we'll have a tailgate party kind of going down there as we're getting ready for the big homecoming football game and the announcement of the royalty. And then Saturday evening after the award ceremony for the Scottish Festival, British Car Show and the clan tents and all that kind of stuff, we give awards. And we announce scholarship winners for the Scottish Heritage Program. But then we have a big ceilidh on Saturday night, which is the Celtic word for party. And so we have this party that goes on, and again, it'll be a dinner and some drinks and things like that. And the band will play that evening. The North of Argyle will be performing, and we're doing it this year for the first time out under a big tent. So it'll be an outdoor thing, and even if it were to rain, which I don't believe we have any chance of that happening, I think it's going to be a beautiful, dry, and warm day. But even if it were to rain, we'd be safe and dry up under this tent, and they'll be serving dinner and things there and entertainment. And then Sunday morning, we have the Iona worship service. We'll go off at 11 o'clock in the morning, and prior to that at 10:30, we have tea and scones. And again, the pipe band will be performing for that service. And after that, we've got the Bonniest Knees contest, just like we always did. And the festival will probably start to wind down about 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. So Friday night, all day Saturday, various things are going on, and then a little bit of stuff on Sunday morning up through noon.
And it's all free, except for the food that you got to buy.
Right. There'll be food vendors that you can go and purchase from food trucks over in front of the Alphen building and in front of the Nichols building, which is our main administrative building. in between Nichols and Brown Chapel area. There'll be food trucks set up, and then there is a charge for the Kaylee on Saturday night if people want to come to that dinner.
Now, the weekend, what I always think when I think of Scottish Festival is the bagpipes and the music, and you hear it, and it's one of the most beautiful campuses in the world, really.
I agree with that.
So then you hear this music. I mean, it really does set off. If someone has never been part of this, they need to just come and experience, because it is something neat. But you also are a bagpiper, and you've brought your instrument. We want to hear what I've loved to go back, because we didn't have it last year. COVID, we had a blank year, unfortunately.
Kind of put a dent in our
but
festival.
I had people that, just like me, I've been in this 40 years, and you told a story about Amazing Grace. Everybody thought it started with the bagpipe, but it did not.
No.
This is a neat thing. I would like you to share that story again and play the song.
Yeah, I'd be glad to. It was actually the music to Amazing Grace was an old Scottish hymn, and then in the 1840s, a former slave trader who had seen the light wrote new words for it that you know now, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound, and that saved a wretch like me. That's the one that everybody sings was written by a Scottish sea captain who had been a former slave trader, and then the song kind of became part of the traditional Presbyterian hymnal, and so you'd hear it. And then in the early 1970s, and I was trying to remember when we were talking before exactly what year, but I think it was like 71 or 72, the Royal Scots Dragoon Guard released an album called Amazing Grace that just went what would now be called viral. Went worldwide and was just a huge hit, where the pipe band for the Royal Scots Dragoon Guard combined with their brass band, their marching band, played this tune and just had a huge radio hit with it back at the time. It was gigantic. So then every pipe band in the world started playing Amazing Grace as part of their repertoire. And now, people say, well, there's only 3 pipe tunes: Scotland the Brave, Amazing Grace, and the other one.
The other one is.
So, all these thousands of other tunes that we play, that's the other one. But I cannot take a bagpipe out anywhere where somebody doesn't want to hear Amazing Grace, and usually Scotland the Brave is the other one that they expect.
But isn't that something? So you think about it. It wasn't ever played on the bagpipes. It was really known well until the 1970s.
Yeah,
not the
I'm sure somebody was playing it. So somebody figured out, hey, I can play that on the bagpipe, and
it just wasn't made popular.
It was not in the public consciousness until the early 70s.
Well, that's great. Well, let's hear you play it now.
Okay.
Man, that was great. See, that is such a history, though, when you look at that, Kenton. That is what it's all about, is learning stuff that we don't know. But Amazing Grace, thinking that it was a Scotland song that really wasn't made popular in bagpipes to the 70s, in my lifetime, is just amazing.
Yeah, well, and, now it's something, like I said earlier, that people expect that. Every time I pull a bagpipe out, the first thing they say is, can you play Amazing Grace? Well, sure I can. And the other thing they say, well, don't you ever get tired of that? And no, I do not. Because for me, this is something I probably play, 200 times a year. But for other people, it's something that they may not get to hear. I play a lot of funerals or a lot of weddings and private parties and things like that throughout the year. And at our graduation and our matriculation, at our convocations that we do at the college throughout the year, every time I blow up a bagpipe, I'm doing something special for one of these kids that's going to college over there at Lyon. It's a memory for them, looking back to say that was a very vital part of my college career. But
now, you said the number 2 song. That I want to hear that too. Let's do it, because usually you just do one. Let's do 2.
All right, sure. The other tune that we get asked for all the time is the Old Spice song. And it's not the Old Spice song, whatever the Old Spice I can't even think of anymore. But we play Scotland the Brave, and the two sound a little bit similar. So people say, do you know the Old Spice song? I'm like, well, I know you're talking about Scotland the Brave, but yeah, we play that one too. So
okay, let's hear it. That is awesome. Awesome. Well, let's just recap. It's starting tomorrow. That's when it'll be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday.
And Scotland is coming to Batesville. That's what I think.
Friday evening, President's Reception, and all day Saturday. All these events will be going on the central part of campus primarily. Highland dance, Highland athletics, pipe bands, Celtic rock band, food, entertainment, vendors, British car show, everything. We have a dog show at 2 o'clock in the afternoon where people come out and show their dogs off, and they put little Scottish costumes and stuff like that on them. And don't forget that at 1 o'clock, our opening ceremonies is when all the clans line up and the pipe bands play in the parade, and we get everybody out on the field, and we'll be playing with the City of Memphis Pipe Band will be there. We'll be playing some of these tunes with them.
And then we also can find it on the website. You talk about that each year too.
Yep, lyon.edu, www.lyon.edu.
Kenton, thanks for coming by and talking to us. Scottish Festival, love it. It's awesome.
Always a pleasure talking to you.